Dung beetle. Pound for pound, nothing on this list comes close to what the dung beetle can do. Some species can pull more than 1,000 times their own body weight, a ratio that dwarfs anything else in the animal kingdom. Imagine a single person dragging 6 full-size buses down a street, and you start to understand what this insect does every single day without complaint. Dung beetles live almost everywhere except Antarctica, thriving in grasslands, forests, savannas, and farmland across nearly every continent. Their job looks simple, but it is essential to entire ecosystems. They locate fresh droppings from larger animals, shape portions into tidy balls, and roll them away to bury as food or as a nursery for their eggs. That rolling motion looks almost mechanical, steady and relentless, as the beetle pushes a load many times its own size across uneven, obstacle-filled ground. Some species even navigate using the Milky Way, orienting themselves by starlight to roll in a straight line at night, something scientists only confirmed through careful experiments decades ago. Males of certain species will fight over particularly good dung balls, pushing and flipping each other in tiny wrestling matches that mirror the drama of much larger animals. Without dung beetles, grazing lands would be buried under waste, and disease-carrying flies would multiply out of control, making this insect one of the most underrated workers in the natural world. Tiny, tireless, and almost absurdly strong, the dung beetle proves that raw power has nothing to do with size. Elephant. On land, nothing matches the raw physical force of the elephant. A single African elephant can weigh over 6 tons, and its trunk alone contains tens of thousands of individual muscles, with no bone to slow it down or limit its range of motion. That trunk can uproot entire trees, tearing through thick roots with a single coordinated pull, but it can also pick up something as small and delicate as a single berry without crushing it. Elephants live in tightly bonded family herds led by an experienced matriarch who remembers water sources, migration routes, and safe paths across enormous distances, sometimes recalling locations she has not visited in years. Strength here is not just physical. It is memory, cooperation, and patience passed down through generations of careful teaching. When elephants push through dense brush, they can flatten small trees just by walking forward, clearing paths that other animals later use to travel more easily. Their tusks, when present, can lever apart obstacles, strip bark for food, or defend against threats too large for most animals to challenge directly. Despite their power, elephants are typically calm and deliberate, saving their force for moments that truly require it, rather than displaying it constantly. Massive, intelligent, and gentle until provoked, the elephant carries its strength like a responsibility rather than a weapon. Gorilla. The gorilla is often called the strongest primate on Earth, and the numbers back that reputation up completely. A large male gorilla can lift several times more than the strongest human athletes, thanks to dense muscle mass concentrated through the arms, chest, and back, built for climbing and defending territory rather than performance. Gorillas live in the forests of Central Africa, moving through dense vegetation, in close-knit family troops, led by a dominant silverback who earns his position through years of growth and displays of dominance. That silverback's job is protection above everything else. If a threat appears, he may charge, beat his chest, and tear through vegetation to appear as intimidating as possible, all without ever needing to make physical contact. Most of the time, though, gorillas are calm and surprisingly gentle, spending their days feeding on leaves, stems, bark, and fruit, while young ones play and tumble nearby under watchful eyes. Their strength becomes obvious only in rare bursts, snapping thick bamboo stalks like twigs, or bending branches most animals could not budge, even with sustained effort. Silverbacks have even been recorded bending steel bars in captivity, a reminder of just how much force sits beneath their calm exterior. Quiet, family-oriented, and physically overwhelming when necessary, the gorilla shows that true power rarely needs to be on constant display. Grizzly bear. Few animals combine raw force and versatility the way the grizzly bear does. An adult grizzly can flip boulders that would take several humans to move, and a single swipe from its paw carries enough force to break bone instantly or kill prey in one motion. Grizzlies live across parts of North America, favoring forests, mountains, and river valleys, where food is seasonal and competition for resources is constant. Their diet shifts throughout the year, from berries and roots in spring to fish during salmon runs in late summer, and their strength adapts right along with it, depending on what the season demands. Watching a grizzly dig through packed earth and rock for roots or burrowing rodents reveals just how much power sits in its front legs and shoulders, which are reinforced by a distinctive muscular hump. During salmon season, a grizzly can pin down a thrashing fish with one motion, using force and precision together, rather than brute strength alone, to secure a meal. Despite weighing hundreds of kilograms, grizzlies can also sprint in short bursts, faster than most humans could ever hope to run, closing distance almost instantly when necessary. Powerful, adaptable, and deceptively fast, the grizzly bear earns its reputation the hard way, season after season. Tiger. Among predators, the tiger delivers one of the most devastating combinations of strength and precision found anywhere in the animal kingdom. A tiger's bite force is strong enough to crush bone, and its front legs carry enough power to drag prey far heavier than itself across considerable distances without stopping to rest. Tigers live across fragmented forests and grasslands in Asia, hunting alone, rather than relying on group strategy or coordinated support from other tigers. That solitary lifestyle means every hunt depends entirely on the tiger's own strength, timing, and patience, with no backup if something goes wrong. When a tiger strikes, it often needs to subdue an animal much larger than itself in a matter of seconds, using raw power to prevent any chance of escape or counterattack. Dragging a heavy carcass into cover afterward requires a level of strength most predators simply do not have, sometimes moving prey several times its own body weight, uphill or through dense brush. Unlike animals that rely on speed alone, the tiger blends explosive power with extended patience, waiting motionlessly for long stretches before committing everything to a single decisive movement. Muscular, precise, and immensely strong for its size, the tiger remains one of nature's most complete and efficient predators. Anaconda. Strength does not always come from muscles built for lifting. The green anaconda proves that constriction can be just as powerful and just as deadly as any bite. As one of the heaviest snakes on Earth, an anaconda's body is built almost entirely from dense coiled muscle, allowing it to tighten around prey with tremendous, unrelenting pressure. Anacondas live in the slow-moving rivers, swamps, and flooded forests of South America, often submerged with only their eyes and nostrils visible above the waterline, while they wait. When a target comes close, the anaconda strikes fast, wrapping its body around the prey and tightening with every exhale the animal takes, gradually closing the space with each breath. That squeezing pressure prevents blood flow and breathing simultaneously, and any struggling from the prey only causes the coils to tighten further in response. Because anacondas are ambush hunters rather than chasers, patience matters just as much as raw strength, sometimes waiting motionless for hours near a watering hole for the right opportunity. After a successful hunt, an anaconda can swallow prey far wider than its own head, thanks to an incredibly flexible jaw structure built specifically for this purpose. Heavy, patient, and mechanically powerful, the anaconda relies on pressure and timing rather than speed to overwhelm anything within reach. Few animals demonstrate raw pulling power as clearly and consistently as the domesticated ox. Bred and used by humans for thousands of years across dozens of cultures, oxen can pull loads many times their own body weight for extended periods without tiring quickly or losing pace. Oxen are typically found working alongside farmers across Asia, Africa, and parts of the Americas, plowing fields, hauling carts, or moving heavy materials across difficult terrain. Their strength comes from a combination of dense muscle and a body structure built for sustained, steady effort, rather than short, explosive bursts of power. Unlike animals built for speed, an ox is built for endurance, capable of working for many hours at a slow, consistent pace without needing frequent rest. That reliability is exactly why civilizations depended so heavily on oxen, long before machinery ever existed to replace manual labor. Farmers often pair oxen together using a wooden yoke, allowing them to distribute heavy loads evenly and move as a coordinated unit across muddy or uneven ground. Even now, in regions without modern equipment, the ox remains an irreplaceable and trusted source of labor for millions of people. Steady, dependable, and immensely strong over time, the ox represents a form of strength built for endurance rather than spectacle. Relative to size, few animals rival the rhinoceros beetle's raw strength or leverage. This insect can carry or push objects hundreds of times heavier than its own body, a feat that would be physically impossible for most animals if scaled up to human proportions. Rhinoceros beetles are found in forests across the world, particularly in tropical regions, where males use their large curved horns for direct combat with rivals. Those horns are not just for show, they double as functional tools, used to flip rival beetles off tree branches during fierce competitions over territory or mates. Watching two males lock horns reveals surprising leverage and force packed into a body only a few centimeters long, often ending with one beetle sent tumbling to the ground. Despite their intimidating appearance, rhinoceros beetles are completely harmless to humans and spend most of their lives quietly feeding on plant sap, fruit, and decaying wood. Their strength exists almost entirely for beetle-to-beetle competition rather than hunting or defense against larger natural predators. Small, armored, and disproportionately powerful, the rhinoceros beetle turns physical combat into something closer to a miniature wrestling match. Speed is often treated as the opposite of strength, but the peregrine falcon blurs that line completely. When diving toward prey, it can exceed 300 kilometers per hour, making it the fastest animal on the planet in level flight. That speed alone would mean little without the structural force behind it. A falcon's body absorbs tremendous impact pressure during a strike, and its talons deliver a blow strong enough to kill mid-air on contact, often without needing a second attempt. Peregrine falcons live on every continent except Antarctica, adapting to cliffs, coastlines, and even city skyscrapers that mimic natural nesting ledges. Reinforced nostrils allow them to breathe steadily despite extreme wind pressure during a dive, an adaptation most birds simply do not have. Their skeletal structure is lightweight, yet remarkably rigid, built to withstand forces that would injure almost any other flying animal. After a successful strike, the falcon must control its momentum instantly, converting raw dive force into a stable grip on prey within a split second. Fast, structurally reinforced, and mechanically precise, the peregrine falcon proves that true strength can exist in a single, perfectly executed instant. If you enjoyed discovering just how powerful these animals really are, like the video, share it with someone who loves wildlife, and subscribe for more amazing creatures from around the world.